Life is a winding road, no telling where it goes. Driving through days and nights, won't stop for traffic lights. And I really wanna know, really wanna know.
Well, hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Happy Monday, happy bread series. Today we are making some quick orange walnut sweet rolls, but I am leaving out the walnuts in today's recipe because my husband is not a fan of them. I am, but if you see when I post a recipe that it calls for walnuts, that is why. So if you want a little bit more texture, a little crunch in there, I definitely think that it would be super good. But I'm using the Magnolia Table Joanna Gaines cookbook, volume 1. That's where this recipe is from, and I will link it down below for you guys if you want to make it for yourself. But this recipe I'm all about because it is super quick and super easy, especially for a sweet roll, because we are using canned crescent roll dough. And big lifesaver for me because, as you know, I've been on my sourdough journey, and that is a whole process. Usually with sweet rolls, cinnamon rolls, anything like that, you have to do a few proofing processes. You got to let it rise a little bit. But with these, we're just using store-bought dough, making the filling, making the icing. So good. Orange rolls are one of my husband's favorite breakfasts, favorite little desserts, sweet treats, whatever you want to call it. And I am kind of making these for him. And my grandma really liked oranges a lot. Oranges and peaches she always had in her house. So these kind of remind me of her a little bit. But since it is a little bit later at night that I'm baking this, we're gonna go ahead and get started. I'm gonna keep these videos kind of chatty and casual because I took a vote on my Instagram and you guys said you liked when I do that. So I'll probably incorporate a little bit of pretty stuff like in my introduction, and then just kind of be casual while I'm cooking and show you kind of the real life of everything, because let's be honest, cooking is not pretty all the time. It's really messy, especially if you're me. There's usually flour everywhere, sugar everywhere. My sink's like full of dishes. So we're just gonna keep it real life while we're cooking, but I'm super excited to get into today's video. I don't know if anybody else is like this, but I just adore cooking with a cookbook because I don't have to look on my phone and keep scrolling for the recipe. Like, it's right in front of me. I can look at the book, look at the ingredients, see all I need, see all the steps. So definitely a cookbook girl. I get a lot of my recipes on my phone, but whenever I can cook out of a cookbook, it makes me so happy. But as you saw before, I have measured out all of my ingredients. In my last bread video, I said that I really want to start doing that because it is a game changer, and I don't know why I had never done that before. But in this big bowl is where I'm going to be making the filling. So I went ahead and put my brown sugar in here, and you need 3/4 a cup of that, and the zest of 2 oranges, and I have that in this little ramekin. You'll need a 1.5 sticks of butter, and we will need some cinnamon. Hold on. How much do we need? A teaspoon of ground cinnamon. That's the only thing I don't have in here. I left that out. So I'm gonna measure that out, and then we're gonna make this into a little paste for our filling for our little crescent roll dough. Okay, we got our little cinnamon, and honestly, I'm just gonna measure it out. That's way more than a teaspoon, but we like our cinnamon over here. Sorry, had to scoot you back a little bit so you could see my bowl. But we are gonna add our room temperature butter into our bowl with our brown sugar and our cinnamon. Uh-oh, hold on, we're sticking to the paper here. And then we're just gonna mash this all together, and that's gonna be our little cinnamon roll filling for the inside. Little towel over here. And then I'm just gonna scrape this orange zest into my bowl for the inside, and then I went ahead and squeezed the 2 oranges. I don't have a squeezer, so I just squeeze them with my hands, if we're being honest. I squeezed those into a bowl, and we're gonna use that for our filling. Oh my goodness. We're gonna use that for our icing. So I'm gonna squish this in here really quick, and I'll come back when we have our little paste. I don't think my butter was quite soft enough because this has been way harder combining this than I thought, but it smells so good. Orange and cinnamon. Orange is one of my favorite, like springy, like summery scents. It just like Makes me so happy, but this is what we're looking like. We just got our little paste in here, and this is gonna be our little spread for the inside. We have both cans of our crescent roll dough, and you could definitely have this recipe if you don't have a lot of people in your family, or you just wanna make like a small little dessert. I'm gonna go ahead and use both cans because we'll probably eat these for breakfast tomorrow, and I'm definitely gonna have them as a little dessert tonight. But basically you're just gonna roll out your crescent dough, and you're going to pinch all the little perforations together, and then we're gonna spread half of our mixture on one sheet of the crescent dough and the other half on the other, and roll it up and cut it into little orange rolls, little sweet rolls, whatever you want to call them. Oh God, this is scaring everybody else. It always gets me, like I know it's coming. I'm just gonna roll this out on my counter, but you could do a cutting board or some other work surface, just it's flat and it's easy to work on. But this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna pinch all these little perforations together. Also, I have my windows open right now because it's been super warm here the past few days, which is also making me super happy because spring, I keep alternating like what season is my favorite season. Like I love summer probably the most. And I used to not really care for spring, but now that we've had a garden and like, just like having a baby and being able to get outside, like spring is becoming one of my new favorites. And I was just talking with my friend the other day, like I never really decorate for spring. And this year, for some reason, like I really just want to decorate. I have a little vase of flowers over here that I bought myself today. And I'm just starting to add like little springy touches around my house. And I'm super excited about it. And I want to go thrifting for like James a little Easter basket and some like little bunny decorations, like just stuff to like start getting in the mood for warmer weather. I'm gonna take half of this and we're gonna spread it onto here. I don't know exactly how this is gonna work. I'm gonna get a little spatula, I think. I have this cute little one, and it's got queen bee and mini bee on it, if it'll focus. Super cute. So I think I'm gonna use that to spread my little mixture out onto here. It's gonna be so good, and they're so easy. Like prep time, if I wasn't filming this, would probably take me 15, maybe 20 minutes. I really wish I could make these with the walnuts. I should have just bought some and did like one roll with walnuts and one roll without. Next time I will probably do that. So if you have somebody in your family that doesn't like walnuts, they're allergic or something, you could always make one pan with nuts and one pan without them. So now that we have all of this spread on here, it says to roll with one long side, roll up the rectangle to form a log. All right. Just gonna roll up our little can of dough. I'm gonna keep pinching this because as I'm rolling, it's kind of coming apart. I'm just gonna roll this up, and I'm gonna set this up here to the side and roll the other one, and then I'm just gonna cut them all together. And we're gonna do our other can, and I'm gonna speed this one up since it's the same exact process, and then we're gonna cut them and put them into our baking dish. I have my 8-inch cake pan and I went ahead and greased it. The recipe didn't say so, but nothing makes me more upset than having anything that I bake stick to the pan. So that is what I did, and we're gonna cut these into 6 equal rolls per log. I'm gonna get a sharp knife so I can have a nice even cut on these. But this was super quick and easy, and I'm just like so shocked. It doesn't feel like this is how it's supposed to be. Okay. Okay.
Day that will come again tomorrow. There's a new day to wash away the pain.
Actually, I think I'm gonna have some of these again. Probably not the greatest idea, but some of them are just really tall. I'm gonna improvise and I'm gonna cut a few of them so I can have a few smaller, littler ones so they cook a little bit more evenly too. Because I feel like if I leave them big and doughy like that, they're going to get not cooked all the way through. So that's what we're gonna do. So these are what they look like in here. And we're just gonna stick these in the oven. Let me see how long they're supposed to bake. I'm gonna bake these for 30 minutes or until they're golden on top. So I'm gonna stick these in the oven and I will come back and show you the final results. And we're gonna go ahead and start on the icing. So I already went ahead and put a cup of powdered sugar in here. I'm gonna add a little bit of vanilla extract. I don't really measure vanilla or cinnamon most of the time, but I'm gonna add in our other cup of powdered sugar. And we are going to whisk this all together. I'm just gonna use a fork. I don't think I said, but I had the juice of 2 oranges squeezed into here, and then I just added those 2 cups of powdered sugar. It says to add orange zest, but I used all of the orange zest for the filling on the rolls. So we're just gonna go ahead and use the orange juice in here, and I think it'll turn out the same, but if you wanted a little bit more orangey, want that orange flavor to come through a little bit more, you can go ahead and add that orange zest in here. I wish you could smell my house right now. Smells so good, but I went ahead and finished my glaze, and it says to whisk enough orange juice so that it makes a ribbon. This is still a little thin, but that's okay. I don't want to add too much powdered sugar because then it just ends up tasting like powdered sugar. So I definitely would just add in your orange juice little by little instead of doing what I did and adding all of your orange juice and then adding your powdered sugar so you can get kind of the consistency that you want. But it'll still taste the same. I'm not too worried about it. But those have about 15 minutes left, so I'm gonna clean up all of my dishes while those are finishing up. And then we're gonna glaze them and do a little taste test. We're looking real golden, real crispy in there. I'm gonna pull it out and check it really quick. The middle still doesn't look super done yet. They still look a little doughy, but these are getting real crispy on the outside. I had to put a sheet pan under it because, as you can see, it's like dribbling out the sides and it was smoking on the bottom of my oven. So if you do that and you don't have a very deep pan, that is something to keep in mind. And it has like 3 minutes left, so we're gonna leave her in there for a little bit longer. You can see my whole ring light set up back there. Whoa, okay. We're gonna get like a weird angle for this, but I'm taking these out of the oven right now. Probably definitely shouldn't have cut them in half because now there's a bajillion of them, but I don't mind the middle being a little doughy. I kind of like doughier sweet rolls, but I'll turn you around and show you what they look like. So this is them, nice and golden brown. The edges got a little crispy, but that is okay. I'm gonna let these cool for just a little bit, and then I'm just gonna dump the glaze over the top of them, and then we're gonna do a little taste test. While those are cooling though, I wanna give you a little update on my sourdough starter. He's doing real good. He's thriving. He's real bubbly in there. I'm getting ready to feed him. I'm debating if I wanna do a discard recipe or make sourdough tonight, but I was kind of a bad sourdough mom and I forgot to feed him yesterday, like morning and night. So I was like, oh my goodness, please don't die. And I fed him today, and Kyle, earlier we were bringing groceries in and he's like, babe, your starter is almost like coming out of the top of the jar. So he's still hanging on there. But I'm probably gonna give him a few more feedings just because I forgot to feed him yesterday before I try to make bread again. But I am still on the sourdough kick. I'm just trying to find a recipe that will work for me because I tried the overnight one that I'd been using with the new starter and it didn't quite turn out how I planned. So I'm gonna do one that I can do throughout the day instead of an overnight because I think that might be part of the reason that my bread is coming out so dense and not getting super holy in the middle like sourdough should be. So I'm on the hunt for another recipe that's not super overcomplicated, but that is kind of my sourdough situation at the moment. Ooh. We are gonna glaze these bad boys now that they've deflated a little bit. I stuck my glaze over here. I'm just gonna spoon this over them It's not very thick. We're just gonna let it run into all those little cracks and crevices. And it's gonna be so good. I've got my little orange rolls. I have like 4 mini rolls, and I have a glass of milk, and we're gonna give this a little taste test, and I'm gonna call Kyle out here so he can have a little taste test of it too. But I'm super excited. These ones are kind of gooey too, and I like I said before, I love doughy rolls. These are good. They honestly taste almost exactly like the Pillsbury orange rolls that you buy, but just a little bit better. Kind of like a orange roll mixed with like a monkey bread. You are actually supposed to invert this onto a plate so that all of like that brown sugar and all that goo can kind of soak through to the bottom. And it's really, really good. You want to try?
It smells really good.
It's like an orange monkey bread.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Man, that smells good. Oh my god.
I know.
Holy crap.
Well, you're supposed to flip this over. I was telling them, I was like, all the goo is supposed to sink through.
That might be one of the best desserts I've ever had.
Even better than peach cobbler?
It's up there.
Nuh-uh. Well, Kyle really likes it.
Damn, that's deadly.
They're really good.
Oh my god.
They're so sweet, but they're so good.
Oh, they're good.
If you can hear Maverick down here, he's down here grunting too. He wants some. I can't eat anymore. I'm gonna get a stomachache, but very successful taste test. Very, very good. On a good note, I think I'm gonna end today's video. I will link this recipe for you guys down below, but if you do have the Magnolia Table cookbooks, it is in volume 1, the one with the black spine on it. Super good, super easy. Like I said before, if I wouldn't have had to film, this probably would have only taken me 15-20 minutes to prep, and then it only takes 30 minutes to bake. So honestly, really quick for a bread and really quick for a breakfast or a brunch, even a dessert if you just want something sweet and kind of fresh. I said this before, but the best way I can describe it is like an orange monkey bread. I just think it is so good. I love orange paired with cinnamon. Kyle definitely got me into that because I was not a big citrus person before we got married, but super, super yummy. I cannot recommend this recipe enough, but I think I'm gonna go and eat the rest of this and try not to get a stomachache or go into a sugar coma. But follow me on my Instagram if you guys want more live updates on what I'm doing. The past few weeks have been a little crazy. I'm usually posting Mondays and Fridays, Monday being a bread video, Friday being just a lifestyle, other content video. I'm gonna start planning out my garden, and it's going to be springtime, so I'm gonna have a lot of garden outside content. If that's something that you're interested in, please subscribe to my channel or follow me on my social media. But with all of that being said, I will see you guys in the next one. Bye guys.